Welcome back to, we have a name now, I believe. Flesh Eater Autopsy. I'm Mug.
I'm Mary. Sorry, I just took a sip of my tea.
You know what? We can't have a professional intro, that is the rule.
We'll mix it up every time.
Yeah. Next time I'll be coughing into a handkerchief and then be like, oh, hello, I didn't see you there. I was dying of cholera. We're back for a second episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, this one, I don't think we're going to be able to go quite as in-depth as episode 1, mainly because it is it's such a fast-paced, action-based episode.
Also, all the character work kind of speaks for itself. It's not really a deep dive philosophical episode.
Yeah, it's put him in a situation.
Don't you ever put me in a situation. But yeah. This episode does start with a nice RV shot.
I love the RV. I love it so much. Mainly because I love Dale.
Yeah, my only it's not a real critique. I should say my CinemaSins nitpick critique is, look, it's probably scenic, but parking your RV right next to a cliff face, you're really banking on there being no windy storms, because those things flip pretty easily under, any amount of gust.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it this way. If they're backed up against a cliff, that's one side they don't have to watch.
That is one side they don't have to watch, but also, that means if they were talking about later in the episode RV engine troubles, if any horde comes from the other side, hey, you're kinda...
It's the same thing of you get security from one side, but you could also trap yourself.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a risk-reward thing. I'm not criticizing it from a writing standpoint. It's solid, but also I wouldn't do it if I were them. Then we focus. I love how we both noted this. Yours is this shot necessary? And mine is, listen, we need a lingering ass shot. It's important.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought it was Lori, but I was like, that does not look like an outfit Lori wears.
I thought you were about to say that does not look like Lori's ass. I was about to say, damn, you have that memorized. Yeah. Why did no one find a library book on foraging? No one asked Shane to teach them to spot poison. Seems kind of because all right, we're just saying notes here. The lady with the ass shot comes with a bucket full of mushrooms. Are these poisonous? And Lola says, well, there's only one way to find out. And they quip, ask Shane when he gets back. Yeah. This is a skill you learn.
I don't know why no one's done it.
It just from a logical standpoint, if you're in a group of survival and you have only one guy who can spot the mushrooms, that's the guy you should never let leave camp.
Yeah.
That's the guy you keep at camp all the time. It's I'm going to complain about this in a bit, way later in the episode, but this is the start of a gripe I have of this episode's writing. It's quite too quiet. Zombies exist and you ignore obvious footsteps. So Laura walking through the woods and hear a branch break,
Yeah.
And then a bird fly away. And my first thought is, this is a zombie world. You know zombies exist. You're ignoring that?
Yeah, it seems like if I was in that situation in a zombie apocalypse, no, I would not ignore it. I don't actually know what I would do. I don't think I would check it out. I think I'd just leave.
I mean, the thing about checking it out, with zombies at least, because they know the rules of most of the walkers and the geeks or whatever they want to call them, checking it out is fine because at least it's one and they're not quick. So you could just be like, oh, that's one of them. I wouldn't just be like, must have been the wind. Bethesda-ass NPC.
Oh, yeah.
You noted that this shot's very good because the red bucket lets us track her through the forest in ways that focus on her in a nice way in the middle of the shot.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I really only noticed that because I was like, where did they get a red bucket? Who is bringing beach equipment along in this universe?
It could have been in the RV, it could just be because people go camping and they could have been near a beach or something.
Yeah, but my real thought was, why do they have a bucket? And then I went, oh, they're using it to track Lori through the forest. The long-distance forest shots.
Yeah. Yeah, then she walks through the woods some more, and then they use the same crunching twig and bird flying away sound. Like, Shane is so dog shit sneaking up. He did the same thing twice. But luckily she's more dog shit at noticing when she's being snuck up upon.
Yeah. You think... I don't know, I feel like I would develop a good sense of, like... Oh gosh, what's the word? It starts with a V. I would be vigilant. That's the word I'm looking vigilant. For.
Well, these are people who, only let one person know what poisonous mushrooms are, so they're obviously not training to live long.
That's true. I'm genuinely, though, in that situation, I would go to the library and probably find basic books on survival.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, the first thing I do in most Zomboid runs is immediately go to, like, the school library and be like, all right, this.
Yeah, because you gotta know these things, if you have any chance.
Yeah. I was about to say, so she's walking through the forest, she hears the twig break twice, looking around, and then Shane just fucking, oh my god, just goddamn grabs her from behind. There are no words to describe
how much I don't like it.
Yeah, they really want to play this as cute, huh?
Shane is such a weirdo.
It isn't, but don't they want it to be? He is a weirdo. Yeah. It also, okay, so they're flirting now. They try to play it off as cute. Like, she's like, oh, you, and I'm like, no sane person would owe you that.
Yeah.
There's this thing where they keep focusing. I get what they're trying to do. It's the emotional thing of how her dead husband, locket and the ring. They keep focusing on the ring. Are they trying to impose a moral value on this, or are they just trying to make us feel sad? Because I thought, when I first watched this, I thought it was just like, oh yeah, obviously she thinks he's dead. This is very sad. She wants to move on. All that. Mm-hmm. But with our knowledge, it's like the show's trying to be like, isn't this messed up? I'm like, no, she thinks he's dead. It's fine. Like, I have many problems with this subplot. That's not one of them.
That's my same feelings about it. I have many problems with the subplot, but the fact that they're together when they fully think that he's dead is not the issue.
Yeah, I feel like the show's trying to make me judge them for it. I'm like, I'm judging them for other reasons. That's fine. Yes. I don't care about that.
I'm judging anyone who wants to be with Shane. But that not because of the reasons the show wants me to.
Yeah. I'm judging you because you have a dog shit pick of the litter of men, not because of what you're doing.
Although I guess if I'm being generous, I can see why Lori picked Shane, because in some ways she might think it keeps her closer to Rick because they were like best friends.
Yeah, I get that. They're like...
look through the red flags, I guess.
Yeah, also it's the end of the world, so red flags are kind of a,
the only flags?
Yeah, it's the thing of like, if I'm in a survival scenario, here's the difference between me, and I know this show touches on it later. If I got into a scenario where it's obvious I'm going into a camp of cannibals, I'd be as quick as ever to get on the cannibal side. You kidding me?
Oh, yeah. Look, in this situation, you have to do what you want. Like, you have to do what you have to survive.
Yeah, like...
many morals will go out the window.
Yeah, if they try to play the whole, like, well, it's human meat, right? All right, I'm down with it. Just tell me it's human meat. Oh, it's human meat. Good. I'm on your side on this. But yeah that's how I feel about, like...
I don't know how down with it with, like, cannibalism I would be in particular. Mainly because I know what it does, but...
Well, two things. One, the point I'm trying to make here is, like, I don't mind that she's looking past the red flags, because it's a survival scenario. But two, getting into cannibalism, I mean, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't build a society around it in post-apocalypse, but, like, if I need to live, and it's the only thing in front of me, I'm not going to be a prude about it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'd go out of my way for it, but also I don't think I'd build a fucking, compound in service to it.
Yeah.
Then we have the solid intro, and yeah, the shot picking up where it left off, where it went up into the air and now it's coming back down, is very good. Mm-hmm. Also, I noted how impressive the shot was at the time, but now, like, just buy, like, a cheap drone and you can get a shot like this pretty easy nowadays. How time flies.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I like this setup. I would like to maybe at some point, which means probably never, go back and watch the end of the first episode and then the continuing shot to see if, like, the layout has changed at all.
Yeah. So we pick up, and Glenn, we don't know his name yet, but we all know it's Glenn.
My king!
Yeah, Glenn's on the radio calling him an idiot, correctly so. And when I have so much media PTSD from Marvel quipisms that when he said, "Can you see me in here?" and Glenn says, "Yeah, there's all this," I was fully expecting to say, "Yeah, I have X-ray vision," quip or some shit, and I was so glad that this show has standards for now.
For now.
Yeah, I was like so expecting some bullshit. And I was like, no, it's nice that he's like, "Yeah, I see you're in there. You got this many on you, you know." Also, you gotta pick Glenn, Geek or Walker. You can't switch between the naming conventions, bud. You just call them Walkers.
Yeah, they really weren't sure what they wanted to call them at this point, I guess. I don't know when they kind of changed that solidly to Walker.
You can't... So, this is bigger in the episode. I hope you're not listening to this in hope that we don't spoil the future of the episode early. But, because that's wild. Why would you do... Anywho, it's like watching a commentary on the film before watching the film. What are you doing? But, like, if Glenn would not have called them Walkers and kept calling them Geeks, then you'd have a bit of, like, how it says, a bit of tension on whether the group Rick is getting up with will be the group that Shane's in. But since they both call them Walkers, you're kind of immediately in the know that, oh, they're going to meet up. You know? They could have leveraged that for some drama until the radio call at the end of the episode. But, you know.
I guess I kind of forgot we don't really know that for sure until that radio call.
Yeah, but when you kind of get it when he calls them Walkers once, and then he starts saying Geeks. I think if they would have gotten rid of that Walker and just had him call them Geeks, that would have been, you know, a good hiding of it.
Yeah, I think that probably would have been a good little surprise moment. I guess it could also be foreshadowing if you think of it that way, but...
It could be, but that's a generous read. Also, like...
Sometimes you gotta be generous.
Also, I gotta say, grenades, because he, like, asks what weapon he has, and he looks and has a clip in a gun, and he grabs a grenade. I have to say, how useful do you think grenades would actually be? Because, like, grenades' whole deal... movies try to make it like grenades are C4 packs. They're not. They're shrapnel, basically. They just spread shrapnel very fast.
Yeah.
The problem is, if that shrapnel doesn't hit the dome, how useful is that in a zombie apocalypse? Like, it can't do anything of effect unless it hits a very specific place. And while it can hit them, I'm not saying it won't do anything. I feel like it's a lesser weapon, all things considered.
I think of it more as a good distraction, because it's going to make noise.
True. But in that case, just, like, tie an egg timer to a rock and toss that bad boy.
Well, if you don't have an egg timer, you have a grenade.
Only in America can that sentence be viable. I hope you know that. Only in this country could that sentence be viable. Well, I won't always have an egg timer, but I can find a grenade.
You know, yeah, like... Sometimes you just stumble across grenades. Actually, you are probably much more likely to stumble across a grenade than an egg timer. At least in, like, southern states of Georgia, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've never been in a house without an egg timer. Well, that's not true.
I've never been in a house with an egg timer.
They're so useful.
I just guess and get it wrong every time.
You know what would help you with that? I have a little invention you'll love. It's called a grenade. No,
maybe I'll get one.
Yeah. So Glenn tells him where to go. This is nitpick. I'm going to differentiate nitpicks between actual criticisms because I think that's healthy instead of just being like, well, this sucks. But like the wording of this, he says the right side of the tank. Hey, where are you? In what formation is the right side of the tank? How would Rick know what?
Yeah, I guess I would think that the front of the tank would be what way, I don't want to say barrel, but I don't know if that's entirely true, but the way like the barrel of the gun on the tank is pointing.
Yeah, maybe.
I would think that would be the front, but I don't actually know
but again,
what way the gun was pointing.
That's not a valid criticism. I'm not going to enter that into the case against this show. That's just me being a nitpicky bastard.
Yeah, we'll create the files for what's actually wrong later.
Yeah. Basically, he shoots his way through the, shoots his way through the street. Not exactly stealthy,
Yeah, Glenn was like, use the bullets sparingly. No. I should have counted how many bullets he used.
Yeah. Then he doesn't shoot Glenn, thank God. Glenn helps him up a ladder.
Ended the show quickly.
And this brings me to not a criticism of The Walking Dead, but a criticism of zombie media. I think they should know how to climb ladders.
I think they should too.
Yeah.
At least a couple of them.
They have a moment in this where one of them starts to climb the ladder, and they're like, "Oh, we better go up." But then you look back down, and he's not. And I'm like, "Well, then what was the point of that? What was the?"
Yeah, we both kind of made a comment on that. Like, personally, I'm convinced Rick didn't immediately climb just for building tension within the show.
Oh,
but definitely. The zombie grabbing the ladder, I was like, "Oh, please, just start pulling yourself up. I would love that." And no, it was anticlimactic for that.
Yeah. Glenn introduces himself, makes a fun little quip about, like, well, look at it this way. The fall will kill us. I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
I love that there's someone else that has hope in this universe along with Rick.
Yeah. And we note that someone else boarded off the alleyways and were thinking when they took over. Glenn says one of the reasons he helped Rick is maybe he'll get a turn in the future. Wonder if that'll come back. That's a tool we could use for later. Mouse tool. But yeah, and they go to the alleyway, and Glenn. This is funny to me. Glenn says there's 4 geeks in the alleyway, and then we see 4 zombies in the alleyway, and the way they go in there, it's like they didn't know they were there. They're like, "Oh," I'm like, "But you just reported that the 4 are there. I mean, you could just speed through them. To be fair, you don't have to fucking."
Yeah, just bolt.
Yeah, no. Where is it? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, mall class. So two people come out in these mall class for assault prevention suits, and they have like bats, and they just bash their heads in. And I'm like, it can't look cool. They're trying to make it look like, all right, these guys are prepared. I'm like, you're in. And sorry for the strong language. You're in a rape prevention suit. That's helpful, and it'll help stop you from being bit. That's good, but don't try to come out like, yeah, these are the fucking gang.
I think they come out thinking or like showing that these people might know what they're talking about and might know what they're doing, and they immediately change that with Andrea's introduction.
Yeah, you go from thinking these guys have it to but I don't valid crash out. Not gonna lie, because like he did ring a dinner bell basically. Yeah,
I think I'm more. I criticize Andrea more just because of her later character development, but I probably would be pretty upset too.
And this is, I will warn you, reader, you're reading this? Holy crap, wild. Damn, you have powers I can't even imagine. No, listener, I warn you, we're not going to get as detailed in this one. We both kind of just last minuted it, behind the scenes peek here. I'm giving away the secrets against my co-host as well. Who cares?
Look,
yeah, no.
We had plans. I had a plan. I don't know about Mug's plan, but I had a plan. It didn't work.
I also had a plan that didn't work. But one thing I will note is this episode has so many good visuals. All of the zombies going against the glass, solid. Again, Dawn of the Dead classic. But it's so good. Also, they use tools. I wonder how quickly they're going to drop that concept, because one's using a rock.
We won't spoil that for you.
And then, so basically they're mad. Not all of them, but that one lady, what's her name, Andrea?
Andrea. I have mixed feelings about Andrea, because, like, honestly, I think she is kind of a pretty accurate depiction of a woman in this scenario with some gripes about it.
I'll get to the
But-
woman part of this episode. I have some thoughts. But yeah, she's rightfully mad at Rick for kind of ringing the dinner bell. All the zombies are there. And then they hear gunshots, and my notes are, oh right, this fucker.
Yeah,
The racism plot line. I always forget about
refuse
this.
to comment on him.
You refuse to wait, let me see. Merle, I hate you. I really hate Merle. Fair. Yeah, no, basically, Merle is this biker racist looking, and he starts beating up not the only, but like one of the black members of the group. What's that guy's name?
T-Dog.
T-Dog, hell yeah. Names right now, it's been so long since I watched this that I'm like, I don't have any of these fuckers memorized.
I know most of them because I have attempted to rewatch this show probably 5 times.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Rick surprise punches him. I noted get fucked, and then immediately, what's it called? Handcuffs him to the pipe on the roof.
And I made a little note. I was like, Rick having handcuffs is so funny to me because why would you ever need them in this situation? But he also probably just put them on for habit. Was he gonna handcuff a zombie?
Yeah. Also, I like the phrase, I can see you make a habit of missing the point. Bit of an understatement.
Yes.
So yeah, he calls himself Officer Friendly, from out of town. And they do the cheesy line, well, Officer Friendly from out of town, welcome to the big city. And they have a fantastic street shot.
Oh, I love it.
Love the street shot. Look, just give me a decrepit city with a bunch of zombies roaming around, and I'm there every time.
Same. I will stare at it for a while.
Yeah. Oh, I've thought about going into one of those programs and making it a screensaver on my computer.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Not this, but zombies in a city.
Fair.
Basically, they talk about how there's a sewer entrance because one of the ladies' jobs was a sanitation worker, I believe, or something.
She was an official in the city's zoning office.
Okay, so less than a sanitation worker, but more on paper.
Which I love when in this situation old jobs become relevant. You have a point.
Yeah. It's always nice to have someone with a very specific knowledge set that helps.
Yeah, you never know what's going to be useful.
Yeah, also, they drop... I don't know if they drop it, but, they drop the sewer concept, but it had to be safer than the street.
I think it probably would have been safer. They just couldn't genuinely get through. And I made a little note that there are animals in the sewer, specifically rats. But I would think anywhere that has multiple animals, you were less likely to find zombies because I think the animals would just not be there.
Yeah. Also, I didn't note it last episode because at the end of the episode, but we are in a zombie universe where they eat animals. That's interesting. That's not always the case. In fact, though, it isn't the case with the original zombies, I believe. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, but it's good to note. Sorry, keep getting lost in the notes.
You gotta space them out more.
Yeah, no, I should space my notes out. The glass, they go back to the scene with the zombies bashing at the glass and whatnot while Rick and what's-her-name are talking. Great visual. That glass 100% should be broke. Again, that's a nitpick, not a genuine criticism.
Well, I never really thought about how strong glass is when just because most of them are just leaning on it. There's only a couple of them actually banging on it.
Yeah.
And now it makes me want to do a test to find out.
Yeah, because you'd think with the pressure of all the zombies leaning on it would, one, create a push pressure on the glass, plus the few in the front banging on it, I think would probably take it down quicker. But again, not an actual criticism, just a little fun little actually moment.
Yeah, it could be what are they called? It's definitely not, but it could be similar to Prince Rupert drops.
Yeah.
Where they have to hit a certain point in order to actually shatter the glass.
Now, this I wish was a nitpick, but it is not. Not a great showing, this ep. I'm going to tell you right now, they have a moment that tries to make Rick look cool, but inadvertently, oh boy, makes someone look stupid, which is she had the safety on her gun the whole time. She doesn't know how to use it. And I say, not great showing this up. Remember, women don't know how to tell if mushrooms are poisonous or use guns. Little tip from the Walking Dead writers. Now, the tone of that was very snide and very, like, quippy. But the problem is, two of the most important women characters you've introduced this episode are not good at what they do.
Yeah.
And, like, all the men are having the competent ideas, except for one. That one woman did know about the sewer. I'll give her that.
I love her. What is her name?
But,
oh my gosh, I know it.
But I know someone's going to be rolling their eyes like, oh, no, you have to notice this stuff. You have to. Like, the writers may not have intentionally done it, but subconsciously they were like, all right, all the dude characters won't be stifled by emotion, which is very funny if you think about later in this series.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's disappointing. I'll say that.
It is. I wish we had like, and I suppose we do later on. We get those better characters. I do wish specifically with Andrea, it's obviously it's a critique into how the writers view women as a whole, but with Andrea in particular, I think it's supposed to show that she's trying to get herself into things that she thinks she's ready for when she hasn't actually taken the effort to learn anything.
Oh, that's always a fun character.
Yeah, that's how I see Andrea in general. Like, she's trying to get herself involved, and you know what, girl, I love that for you, but like, you got so many people who know how to shoot a gun. Learn from them instead of pretending you know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's also same with poisonous mushrooms.
They just want Shane to know everything, and I don't want him to know anything, actually.
Yeah. They go down into the sewer, they make a plan about who should go with who, when who should stay behind. And they go down there, and the sewer's not long before they come to a grate. And Glenn says, do you think we can cut it? And I just respond in the notes, come on, with what? Those are iron rebar. You're not getting through that. But even funnier, again, this is a very... this episode's a bit nitpickier. They're looking up at the bars, and then suddenly they hear something. The rat they've been following is being eaten by a zombie, and they're like, holy shit. I'm like, that wasn't... Eating a rat is not a silent thing to do. I don't know how it could have snuck up on you. Now, I can forgive the smell, because it's a sewer, so you wouldn't be able to smell the zombies there. But how did you look at the grate and not look at the zombie right in the grate and be like, wow, look at that? Again, nitpick, not real. Not gonna put that down. It's
a good jump scare moment that everyone was expecting.
Yeah. What did I say? Took them long enough. What was that in response to?
Where our timings being opposite is.
Well, apparently took them long enough is just my note there. Great note taking, Mug.
I feel like that could be a comment on them not noticing the zombie eating the rat.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, no, that's a full minute and 40 seconds later, so don't know what that took him long enough.
Oh, maybe it could be the glass breaking, the first doors.
Oh, glass breaking. Yep, thank you. Hey, this is a professional show. Remember that, listeners. This is professional. So yeah, the zombies break through the first pane of glass doors. And then we learn about they smell the dead or they don't. It's pretty distinct. Writers using a trick to justify this one trick, also forgetting this concept along with the trick later.
Yeah, I like to think that because of how it ended up, they never use it again, but it would have been so good. I guess actually I do know the reason why they probably never used it again. I don't know if we want to get into that now.
Big spoiler. Yeah. Again, why would you be listening to this if you haven't? But, so... It rains, and they cover themselves in zombie guts, but then it rains and the zombies are like, hey, you're not zombies. So there's a Simpsons episode, I know this is going to be a wild turn, where Maggie gets stuck in the bathroom, and all the Simpsons family try different methods of trying to get her out, and all the methods are just making it worse. Like, they try lock-picking with a hanger, and accidentally, like, the hanger goes through the bathroom door pick and knocks medicine down, and then they try something else. But Lisa comes up and opens the door and like, how did you do that? And Lisa says, I tried the lockpick again. I don't know why we only try things once. And that's how I feel about this method of, like, it rained once, so you stop using this.
Yeah, and I have another thing. I don't think the rain would have, like, washed the smell away. I really don't.
It would not have. They still had guts hanging off of them.
Yeah,
That alone.
They have, like, guts hanging from them, a hand and a foot, and they're covered in just, like, gore from the zombie that they chopped up with a fire axe. And I don't think the rain is gonna make that go away. If anything, it might make you smell worse.
All right, let's back up a bit. They grab a body out of the street, and then they, like, try to hack him up, and then Rick has a moment where he's like, this is the guy's name. I didn't write it down because it's not important to me.
That got on my nerves.
Yeah,
I know it's supposed to, like, humanize Rick and make him seem, like, different in the world of survivors. I don't care.
It's also, like, we're on a time crunch. I don't care that, like, he did this. I care that he did this with zombies bursting down glass. Yeah. So they cover themselves in the guts, and I know, this is very personal to me. I spent a day helping my mom's friend when I was 14 clean out a meat freezer. When she went away for the summer, the meat freezer was shut off in a metal garage in the middle of a summer. And while it's not a southern summer, a Montana summer can still get up to 104 degrees. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I smelt that, and I always think that there's no way a zombie can sneak up on you ever. Because if you smell them, you'll smell them. Rotting meat is not something you ignore. I'm only saying that because, God, I would be vomiting. I had to rub this stuff near me. Oh, God.
Yeah, honestly, Glenn, me too, my guy. That would quite honestly possibly be the worst thing you'll ever smell.
Yeah, also, this is a dumb bit I wrote in here, and I'm very sorry. They're axing the body, and then they're picking up its guts and rubbing them, and I just said Christian Mass if they were cool. Step above wafers.
Okay, what did you mean here?
The body of Christ. Come on.
If they were cool. Okay. They would have to eat it, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's picky. Also, she what's her name gives Glenn the gun, and it's supposed to be like a "you'll need this more than me," but I just took that as I don't know how to use this. Here you go.
Yeah, I think, like, she's kind of having a realization moment. She's like, I do not know how to use this gun, but also her sticking it in the waistband of Glenn's pants made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, she picked the worst time and part of, like, you just put that right there.
I know, and she puts it in, and then she has, like, a little patch. She's like, secure, and I'm like, please don't ever do that again.
Fucking front pat.
Like, it's so awkward of a scene. And I don't even think Glenn ever uses it, either.
No, he does not. I misread this. My note misread this. Rick was giving the key to T-Dog to basically be like, hey, you decide his fate. I thought Rick was asking him to unchain him, like, Rick, what the fuck?
No, yeah, they were like, what about Merle? And Rick gave T-Dog the handcuff key to be like, you decide when to release him.
Damn.
When/if. Foreshadowing.
Yeah, no. Then they go out, and I'm gonna be honest, the sequence where they go out among the walkers kicks ass. I love a good zombie shot. I've talked about nothing. This episode, great zombie shots. That's all this episode's been for me. Fantastic zombie shots.
I think that's the most important takeaway from this episode. I do wonder, they have the foot and the hand hanging off of them. How did they tie them? Where did they get the, like, string that they used? Because it didn't really look like clothing. It looked like actual string.
I'll tell you right now, that's not string.
What is it? Oh, I don't think that would work, though.
They just tied it to the end of it. I don't think it would work either, but it's a fun visual.
Because they, like, thinking realistically for a second, I was like, maybe it's intestine. But I just don't think, like, they're so grossed out by it that they could not do that.
I mean, yeah, it is a bit those cannibals on that island, but you have to deal with it. I feel like there's more to them than that, but that's all we know of them. But anyway. Yeah, no, you say Dale... we cut back to the encampment, and your note, Dale, I love you. That's the only thing I can think of your character right now. Fair.
Yeah, Dale hasn't really done anything yet, except talk about a broken RV and try to answer the radio.
I said RVs do kick ass, but also in a zombie apocalypse, you would have to ditch it for a sign of engine trouble. You have to.
Well, I think it's because Dale knows how to do maintenance on it, and if I'm not wrong, they have a car mechanic with them, and so they try to keep the RV going because it's like a good... they can use it as a vantage point and for whatever other reasons.
Also, it's nice to have a house.
Yeah, they have a toilet.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, it has a toilet. And since the world's gone to shit, it's so easy to dump a black box. You kidding me?
Yeah.
It cuts to Shane, basically like teaching Carl how to tie a knot, and I just noted, damn Carl, you suck at taking instructions, because he keeps telling Carl, you twist like that, you turn this, and Carl is just looking at this knot, smiling up at him like, yeah, and not doing anything.
That's okay. Carl isn't there to be helpful yet.
Look, not to be a utilitarian, but Carl, you gotta learn these things.
Maybe that's why they don't know how to like forage or do anything.
Dog shit teacher, yeah.
They don't try. They just smile at Shane while he teaches them.
Yeah, Shane has a spell about him where anytime someone tries to... Now, this one's poisonous. Just imagining one of the... Dale going with Shane on a thing of, like, tell which mushroom poisonous. Dale's just like, yeah. Are you listening to a thing I'm saying? Yeah.
I think that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's just taken in by him. There's a shot where they have a big argument about going to save them because they're like, oh, we're trapped in a convenience store or whatever, and they're like, we can't go. And again, I didn't note this down, but the only people who are wanting to save them, not the only, but like the ones who talk about it are the two women, and the man has to be like, no, we can't, and all this. And it's, again, a tiny thing. It makes sense for the characters they are, but it's something to note. Writing-wise, because that will become more apparent over time.
Yeah, I made a little note that I think it's supposed to represent the question of, like, do the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few? But at the same time, I think there's, like, equal people in each group, so...
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a good bit of people.
Yeah.
There's you said, nice shot of different zombies just walking through. There's so many of them, builds tension. I noted that when they cut back to Glenn and Rick, it's supposed to be disorienting, but with the music and the shot, it comes out as a comedy, like as they're shuffling. It feels like
shuffling is so funny.
I don't know if have you seen Shaun of the Dead?
Maybe, potentially.
If not, even if you have, that's going to go on the list of between season watches. There's a zombie behind them for one scene, and he's like there for 5 seconds, but his head is tilted and is keeping pace with them.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember that guy, but I didn't make a note about him.
I made a note about him because he was great. I love that guy. I want to follow that guy. I want a camera on him for the entirety of the series while everyone's doing other stuff.
Actually, that would make a good little zombie like mini series or something. If you're following a zombie in a big city and it covers different surviving groups coming out into the city to like scavenge for resources.
You're just making me sad that Land of the Dead sucked, because I'm gonna tell you, Land of the Dead is a movie that had a concept so good and it fumbled it so bad. Anywho.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, no, Rain strats. This strat's only weakness. Let's never use it again.
Yeah, like I said, I really don't think that would make them smell less like dead people.
Yeah,
I think it would make them smell worse.
If rain suppresses the smell, because the gunk's still on there. There's so much gunk on them. So if rain suppresses it, they should all be eating each other. That's the logic you're working on here, right? Like, you can't smell them anymore. They should all be eating each other. But again, this is not a minor nitpick. This is an actual criticism because they don't use the strat ever again, even though we know it works when it's not raining. And to be fair, it's not raining a good portion of this series.
That's super fair. And, like, logically, I think I know the reason why they chose not to use it again. And not really logically. In the terms of the world and story, I think I know why they didn't use it again. But it would have been such a good idea.
Yeah, and I want to separate. There's a lot of criticisms in the shows where it's like, why isn't everyone a perfectly calculating, that's not what this is. I don't need everyone to, like, talk about everything all the time. That would be nice. It wouldn't be good TV. I need when you know a strat worked outside of it raining, you to not drop it like it was nothing. You just had one of the greatest scavenging strats on hand and you just don't use it.
Yeah, it would have made more sense had they not done this scene. If they had found another way around it so that we never had to be like, oh, they thought of this and they never used it again. If they don't want them to use this strategy in the future.
Yeah, also it is weird that we don't even see, or we might have, I didn't see it. Where did the intestine handfoot go?
Where are they?
Where did they go?
Where did they go? They're gone forever.
Yeah, no, they jump over a fence, and I know that fence should break down immediately, but, it's TV. Give it time. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, hell yeah, we got a climber. One of the zombies actually climbed. Hell yes.
Yeah, he really vaulted that fence.
And then the fence breaks, and yeah, about expected. Glenn has a moment where the zombie who climbed the fence is almost at his window, and I'm like, I mean, the guy's not really trying at the window that hard. That's my big critique with a lot of zombies. Why I'm a Romero purist. It's in the description of this podcast. Why I like Romero zombies is they immediately went for breaking. Modern zombies, when they get to glass, just kind of like put their face against it and slap at it a bit. If I remember from Night of the Living Dead, they immediately grabbed something to bash glass in. Like, it was an immediate, like, nope, no glass. Not dealing with glass. But it seems all zombies in modern media just look at glass as like, if I tap it aggressively, it shall fall.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I've never really thought about how to break glass before. So if we're going in terms of, like, zombies remember a little bit of what it was like to be a living person, maybe they, as a person, didn't think about breaking glass.
Yeah, but again, just to get, I'll get back to the episode in a bit. It's surprising how different zombies started as versus what they are, because zombies in The Walking Dead rarely use anything. Like, they'll use rocks as tools occasionally. Night of the Living Dead, there's a moment in the basement in that movie where one of this zombie girl, she's on the cover of the movie half the time, the zombie girl picks up a gardening hoe, like a little manual gardening hoe, and she wields it like a weapon. Still a zombie, wields it as though she's going to stab at him. Like, they have motor functions. They try doors. They smash glass. They think. And I like that. Yeah. But yeah, no. But yeah, they get into the big van and they leave. And this part, I get what they're trying to do, but this part they're like, they're leaving us. I'm like, no, they're gonna circle back. You guys planned this.
Just seemed kind of silly to think. Like, they're leaving us. What did you think they were gonna do?
You guys planned this. You guys talked about doing this. What are you? But yeah, no. I think because it rained and they had to run, they were like, oh. But
yeah, I could see them being like a little bit panicky. But come on, use your head. But at the same time, if you're also panicking, you're not going to.
Yeah. So Rick breaks into this car, and Left 4 Dead reference I made in my notes is Rick has startled the horde. Alarmed car, bad, don't shoot him. And him and Glenn basically drive back, and Glenn, using the now alarm constantly sports car, is drawing zombies away from the building.
Yeah,
inside,
I love that.
They radio them like, hey, get ready. And inside, this is... Now,
I get why... Is this what I think it is?
Now, I get why that happened. I get why they did it, but how do you trip so perfectly?
I know, I wrote cinematic masterpiece. It's just so funny and so coincidental.
The likelihood of that happening is astronomical. So,
Yeah.
T-Dog is genuinely about to release Merle. He's like, I'm not going to leave a guy here to die, because T-Dog's a good person.
Yeah, everybody's a good person except for Merle, is essentially what they're... Well, I guess everybody else left and they didn't try to release Merle either.
Yeah, T-Dog's a better person than them. But Merle is trying to pull some shit like, you would leave everyone, Merle. But that's not the point. The point is, T-Dog trips. And he trips in such a way that the key to the handcuffs perfectly falls into a chimney vault. Or a grate or something. It's something on the roof. And it's one of those moments where like, come the fuck on, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so funny because like the only reason that happened is because the writers wanted to leave Merle there.
I was about to say, if I were in Merle's position, not because I'm a piece of shit or anything, if I was just tied up there because no one trusted me or some shit, and then survivors were about to let me go and they tripped and put the key in there, unlike Merle, who we knew would react like this, I'd probably be like, well, that's fucked. Ain't that just a... He did lock the thing. Did Merle shoot him? I don't remember. What happened?
No, he locks the door to give Merle better chance of surviving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that no zombies can get up there.
Yeah, I'm just remembering he had an injury later, and I'm forgetting. I'm mixing things up because I'm...
Merle beat him up. I think that's where he's injured from.
There's so Glenn, we come back out to Glenn luring away the horde with the alarm, and I just said zomboid strats because that's exactly how you survive in that game to get a horde away.
Glenn is just goated at all times.
The horde breaks in, and it's a great spillover shot where they get in and start climbing in around. It's great. Mm-hmm. So they all get into the truck. Rick looks around. No Merle. The guy says, I dropped the damn key. And it's,
nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And they ask, hey, where's Glenn? And it cuts to Glenn living his best fucking life.
I know. I literally wrote, I was like, Glenn, leave them. You don't need them.
You don't need them, Glenn. I love that the car alarm syncs up to the beat of the song they use for the end. Mm-hmm. And then we get the proper credits, the actual Walking Dead credits, not that weird, totally inconsistent music from the last episode.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It was altogether a fine episode. There are actual complaints I have. Most of them were nitpicks, but the actual complaints, I think, outweigh the nitpicks in the way of, like, hey, you're not writing women very well this season.
I think they make sense in the terms of the characters that they wrote them as. I just wish they didn't write them as those characters.
It's the thing of, like, if all of your female characters are written in that way to make sense with their character, I think there's a problem of pattern there. Yeah.
And like, I think they remedy that a little bit in the later seasons with a couple of characters, but ultimately it is a continuing issue.
Because, like, if even anyone else speaked up against Shane, that would have been something. But no one else did. Only 2 women did.
Yeah, like, come on, Dale. I rely on you for so much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think, who are the men characters at the RV? There's Dale, there's unnamed car mechanic guy who I can't think the name of, and there's Shane. Is there any other ones?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I mean, Carl. But
yeah, but I don't... Carl's not a man yet, he's a kid.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but that is a child, so doesn't really count.
Carl has a single speaking line yet?
No.
Then I don't expect him to speak up against Shane.
Carl's single speaking line is, yeah, responding to Shane, telling him to do something that he's not doing. I think that's his single speaking line. Yeah.
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 Yeah, so I know why the other guy character isn't going to say anything. But I do kind of wish that Dale had said something. And yeah. I think he his character, they changed it a little bit later so that it would make sense if he spoke up, but he doesn't, and I wish he did.
That is one thing as someone who likes writing, this is one thing that's always a struggle of character or story. And I think characters should move a story, but The Walking Dead is a series where the story will mold the characters into what it needs for the moment. There are tons of shows like that. It's not unique to The Walking Dead, but I don't like it anytime. It's why I don't like writers in comic books. I'm a big comic book fan who decide to just change characters' entire personality as a whim to fit whatever narrative they're telling. I never like it. I never review it well. It always pisses me off. I wish characters would push the story more, but what I remember of season 3 onward of The Walking Dead, that is a pipe dream. That is a nothing.
I would say that there are some good characters and situations late in the later seasons. I actually hold on. I have to look up when something happens.
Yeah, we didn't talk about some stuff, but some stuff's pretty obvious. Like obviously, there's no checkpoint.
I was looking up when a character is introduced, and it tells me the year.
No, don't do that. That's probably 2010, 2011, something like that.
Yeah, it's like the character shows up in the year 2011. I'm like, that doesn't tell me the season.
But yeah, no, there's some things we didn't touch on. They talked about how Rick thinks he's like, oh, you guys from the checkpoint in Atlanta, and obviously that didn't work out. That's not a thing.
Yeah. We do get the first instance, though, of Rick and Glenn teaming up, and I love that pair together.
They are great. That is a zombie like classic of like there's a checkpoint in this place, and you go there and it's like the checkpoint was overrun. It's like, oh great, there's no checkpoint.
The checkpoint has fallen.
In fact, it's more of a subversion in modern zombie storytelling if the checkpoint didn't fall. It's just safe. That's the big subversion. But yeah, next episode, I truly remember now. I remember we have the reunion. I will say this about the reunion. I understand it happened when it did. We only have 6 episodes this season. I'm not going to say they should have pushed it, but if they had a longer runtime, and if they weren't at this point trying to stick close to the comic, because they break that comic sticking close pretty early on, so they could have done other things. I think it would have been better to have some contrivances to why the two teams couldn't meet up, or they don't know details or whatever. So the reunion would be a bit later and a bit more like we're waiting for it. We're like, oh, they're just right there. But
more
again,
anticipation for it.
Yeah, more anticipation. I would have built more anticipation. But again, as it is, it's fine. I'm not going to knock it for that. It had limited time and it was following a formula. So, you know.
Yeah, I do wish season 1 on a whole was longer for various reasons. But I don't think that saying that they pushed that specific scene earlier is a necessarily criticism of the show, because they just didn't have the time.
Yeah, it also, like, it's more of what I would have done rather than this was bad. It's more of like, you could have, this is a drama series. You could have pushed for a bit more drama, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Merle's up on a roof. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass. Oh,
yeah,
no.
that can never be an issue with that.
Oh, God. We now have a name, Flesh Eater Autopsy. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. We have a YouTube. We should be on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, all the places where you get podcasts.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I'll be honest, Mug did most of that.
We have a TikTok. I was procrastinating doing moving stuff, so I really just went in and made a bunch of things.
Have you added more to the TikTok?
I have. There's 2 videos on the TikTok.
Okay, that's what I was aware. There were 2 of them.
One of them did surprisingly well. Another one...
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know why that one did so well.
Yeah, I was about to say, the other one
The second one is what I'm used to. Actually, the second one did better than most of the things that I have tried to put on TikTok, like on my own TikTok.
I think there's like an algorithm of when you upload it versus when it gets pushed, because like one I uploaded late at night, I think, and it blew up, and the other I uploaded in the morning, and they were like, nope, we're not pushing this to anyone ever. And I'm like, all right, well.
It's okay, though. YouTube Shorts exist.
Yeah, they're YouTube Shorts. If we have YouTube, you're probably listening to this on that as well. Hey, hello.
Hello.
You nerd.
My mouse is dying. I can't move the tab I was looking at. Okay, it's fine now.
Well, Well, with that, we'll probably leave you be. Next episode, I don't know. I only remembered the first two, so next episode is truly not blind, but as blind as rewatching can be.
I don't go into anything blind.
Fair. Well, see you next time, and bye-bye.
Bye.